Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and today we're going to talk about what my goals for 2019 are, what my budget is going to look like, and really what I want to see for the coming year. So let's go ahead and start with what I think everybody is most curious about, and that's going to be what my makeup purchasing habits are hopefully going to look like in the year 2020. So just to kind of backtrack a little bit for you, if you haven't seen some of my previous videos or maybe you're new to my channel, certainly welcome. This year is going to be, for me personally, a very different year. I think 2020 is going to be very much the embodiment of change, and that's for a lot of different reasons. So I am currently pregnant with twins, which is very, very exciting, but very, very life altering. I also have a 2-year-old, so this is not our first foray into parenting, but certainly no child or pregnancy or birthing experience is the same, and certainly not when you add multiples to the equation there. So coupled with the fact that we are going to go from a family of 3 to a family of 5, I'm also more than likely, like 95%, not going to be working anymore. It just doesn't make sense financially. The cost of daycare for 3 children under the age of 3, which will take a second to let that sort of sink in, 3 under 3. The cost of daycare for 3 children is exorbitant. So without putting out any true numbers, because it doesn't matter, when I did the calculations to see how much daycare would cost and compared that to my annual salary, so this is before insurance, 401k, taxes, anything, the difference was $3,000 total. So once you calculate out my take-home pay, it just, whether I stay working or not, we're losing my income. We are definitely losing my income, and then quite a bit. So my husband and I, talked a lot about it. It's been a very difficult decision because if you have seen some of my previous videos or you've been around with me for a while, I really like my job. Yes, recently it has been insanely stressful, which nobody ever likes that. But overall, I like my job. So making the decision to leave it is a difficult one. Also, my husband, going from a dual income household to a single, that puts a lot of pressure on his shoulders, so we have done a lot of sort of looking at, the realities and things like that. And it just, at least for right now, makes the most sense for me not to work. So again, whether I work or don't work, we're still losing my income, and that's still a large, change to our lives. So what that means for me and my personal spending is pretty drastic. I have already gone through and canceled all of my subscription services. I had 4 makeup subscriptions, and I was also doing Scentbird, which I don't know that I ever talked about on my channel because it was kind of newer for me. I was on the fence. I'm not a huge perfume person, so I didn't get quite as much satisfaction out of it as I got from the makeup ones. So that wasn't a difficult one for me to make that decision on, but I did cancel all of my other boxes. It is still a little bit hard for me to watch the BoxyCharm unboxings because I really loved getting BoxyCharm. But kind of the flip side of that, though, is that I have an overwhelming makeup collection. And I'm not kidding. Going through and putting this all onto a spreadsheet and doing a true inventory, it's been tough. It took months. And nothing should take months when it comes to figuring out how much makeup you own. Like, that's insane. And the subscription boxes were definitely a contributing factor to that. So even though I'm very sad that I'm not getting those monthly subscriptions anymore because I enjoyed them, it's going to help me, hopefully, get some of my makeup collection a little bit more under control. The reality is I've got enough makeup to last me my entire lifetime probably, and not need any more, but I like makeup. So what I did is this year, rather than doing a purchase restriction, so that's what I've done the past 2 years, and I failed miserably at it. Last year in 2019, I said that I was going to do one makeup purchase a month. And then before, no, I think 2019, I feel like I should know this, right? That's how badly I did at it. Either last year was one makeup item or 3 makeup items. And then the year before that was either one makeup item or 3 makeup items per month. And it failed because I like buying makeup, and especially when you have some collections. Yes, ColourPop, I'm looking at you. That you like multiple pieces within that launch. I don't know. I didn't do well at it. So what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to do a budget. And I have a feeling, or I have a hope, I guess, that I will do better at sticking to it this time around for a couple of different reasons. A, I've done the math. I have done the math, and I need to make sure that not just in my personal consumption, but in our financial life overall, that we are making very strict decisions and keeping to a very strict budget, because the reality is neither one of us really know what to expect this year. So there's that, and that's, you know, definitely powerful. But also, by giving myself a dollar limit instead of an item limit, I think I'll be more successful. So we'll see. We'll do check-ins periodically. I am going to do monthly updates. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine either my empties videos and what I've purchased, or I know right now it's very popular to create videos about new releases and whether or not you're going to buy it or you're not. So I'm probably going to roll some sort of something into those so that I can keep you updated on how my budget is doing and what I've purchased, if anything. So what is my budget? I am going to be very strict with myself, and I'm going to say that I have a $50 per month budget that includes pretty much everything. Makeup, skincare, hair care, body care, all of it. Now, an exception to this is going to be kind of the necessities, right? I'm not going to count deodorant. I'm not going to count toothpaste. You know, things like that, I'm not. But I am going to be very realistic because skincare is pricey. So I'm not going to be like, oh, skincare, that's a necessity. I can spend $60 on a moisturizer. Negative. So that's why that is part of my budget. Hair care is the same way. If I want to buy a more expensive shampoo and conditioner combo, that needs to come out of my budget. That's not a household expense. Toothpaste is a household expense. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, $50 a month I feel like is reasonable, especially since it's going to be everything. Now, I'm not going to count things for the kids, so their bubble bath and, you know, their stuff doesn't come out of my budget. This is specifically for me, and I think that I'll do better. I think that I'll do better this year, so I don't know. We'll check in and we'll find out. Oh gosh. I'm also going to try to avoid credit, I guess is the best way to put it. So what I mean by that is, say for instance, sometime this month I want to spend $75. Well, I can't, because that means that I'm spending my $50 budget plus $25 credit into the next month. That is a recipe for me for disaster. I can only spend what I have. Now, anything that I don't spend, so if I only spend $25 this month, for example, then that other $25 gets rolled into February, and then I can, you know, make whatever purchases I want to in that regard. So that part's fine. It's just the credit side of things that, you know, I'm not gonna purchase on borrowed money, even though I'm just borrowing it from myself. So that's kind of where I'm at there. As far as other goals, I am doing quite a few projects this year that I can think of off the top of my head. There are 3 that I'm starting out the year with. I am going to be doing my year-long A to Z project pan. I am going to be doing pan those eyeshadows again this year because I really had a lot of fun with that one. And then I'm doing another one focusing on my minis because I've got way too many of the deluxe sample sizes of a lot of different products, called Always 20 in 2020. So I'm hoping that I can use those types of projects to help reduce my collection. I'm not good at decluttering. I don't like to declutter because I've already spent the money on it, and I purchased it because it's something that I like. And so the idea of getting rid of it just doesn't sit really well with me. So I probably won't do a lot of declutters, but I might as the year goes on. I haven't really decided yet. We'll just kind of see how life goes as far as that is concerned. But certainly looking at my insane spreadsheet inventory, I think will also help me to curb some of those spending influences. And honestly, when it comes to my project panning, that has had an awesome effect in that regard as well. The idea of buying another blush, I can't do it. I spent an entire year on that freaking deluxe sample size of that Tarte blush, and I couldn't even wear away the pattern. Blush for me is an uphill battle. So anytime I look at a blush, I'm like, oh, that's pretty. I would like to have that. Literally unstoppable flashes through my brain, and I'm like, nope, I don't need that. So that helps a lot too. I do have some personal goals for myself as well. So one of the goals that I set last year that, looking back, I'm pretty sure I just outright failed, and that was taking more time for myself. I'm very, very bad about that. I put everything else first. I put my job first. I put my family first. I put my children first. I put my friends first. You know, I put all these things first. And I'm not very good at taking good care of myself. And so that's something that I really, really want to try to do more of in 2020. I'm hoping, and this may not be a realistic hope, but I'm hoping that by no longer working, that I might have a little bit more mental room to be able to do that. I know that I'm going to have an entirely different job. I am not minimizing the stay-at-home parent thing because it is exhausting and there is so much work that never ever ends. So I'm not minimizing that in any way, shape, or form, but it's, how do I say this? It's only one thing for me to focus on instead of also trying to put as much effort as I put into parenting and being a member of a family. I'm also putting that much energy into my career, and I'm hoping that by not having that I have more mental space to be able to think about myself. I don't know if I'm actually going to. Again, you know, this is not something I've historically been any good at whatsoever, but that is the hope. I'm also hoping that in kind of an effort to start making that mental space, I want to start reading again. I used to read like crazy. I mean, behind me, you've got some of my very favorite books. You've got my Harry Potter books. You can't see them real well up here, but these are my books by Jacqueline Carey, which, by the way, if you want some recommendations, her trilogies are top notch. You know, I would read histories. I would read all kinds of stuff, biographies, fiction, nonfiction. I mean, all of it. I used to read like crazy. And in the past few years, I don't think I've really read at all, which is not part of my character. And so that's something that I would really like to try to do, because that is something that, for me, it enriches me as a person. And so I'm very much hoping that I can set some reading goals for myself. And by doing that, that pushes me into that kind of self-care space. I know self-care is such a trendy phrase here recently, but I'm very much hoping that that is the case. So I want to set a goal for myself of reading between 4 and 6 books in 2020. I'm not due until April, so I don't know realistically what my time is going to look like, but that is something that I really would like to do. So if you want to know what I'm reading, because that also helps me remain accountable to things, I would be happy to film videos about what I'm currently reading, what I think about it, maybe little mini reviews or something like that. So let me know down in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in seeing, because I would totally do that. Yeah, I think those are where we can leave things. I know I've just been sort of rambling and talking a lot, and you're probably bored of listening to me, but if you have made it all the way to the end, thank you. I very much appreciate it. I really like doing YouTube, which is why I do it. I know that I keep talking about how I have no time for myself, and this is definitely something that cuts into that. A lot of people don't realize, I know I didn't quite as much, everything that goes into producing content, because if it was just a matter of sitting down in front of a camera and talking, that isn't too terrible. I've been talking for what, 16 and a half minutes now? Now, once I edit it, it'll be cut down a little bit, but probably not super dramatically. But there's everything that goes into it. There's all of the prep. There is, oh, another goal for next year. Get back to doing my hair so that it's not just the Hot Mess Express all the time. But there's all the prep that goes into it, getting ready, getting all of your things together, planning for videos. But then after the fact, there's all of the editing. Editing, that takes a good amount of time. For any of you that produce content, you're probably going, yes. So I really do like doing YouTube, and it's something that I want to continue to do, partially because of the community that it builds here. I love interacting with you guys, and I love you know, that conversation that starts. So thank you so much for being such a part of my 2019, and I'm so excited that you get to be a part of my 2020. So again, I will stop rambling and I'll stop being super sappy. I hope that you are having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.